Thank you, Mike, for inviting me and Across Nature to this venue to present the Nicaforest High Impact Reforestation Program. My name is Øyvind. A lot of you don't know how to pronounce my name, but it starts with an Ö, so just practice. I'm the CEO and founder of Across Nature and Across Forest, which started the Nicaforest Plantation Company and Nicaforest Wood Company in Nicaragua. So the fly-in should show the place in Nicaragua. So remember, it is Nicaragua, Central America we are talking about here. So Across Nature is a carbon removal project developer with focus on expanding the Nicaforest High Impact Carbon Removal Pilot Program in Nicaragua. It was set up 12 years ago, so it's kind of a long time for a pilot, but I would say that we needed that time. I will come back to that. We needed that time to learn how to do reforestation and carbon removal the proper way. Today we focus on these three SDGs: climate action, of course, quality education, and decent work and economic growth. Well, we support other SDGs as well, but these are the ones that means the most to us. We are gold standard certified, and we are FSC certified. So what is Nicaforest? Well, we are a project focused on fostering community development through a sustainable value chain around forestry, based on reforestation, protection of native species, carbon sequestration, in addition to social and environmental impact initiatives. The three pillars: the protected areas and reforestation. Nicaforest, which is the brand we are working under in Nicaragua, administers almost 500 hectares of land, including both natural forest and reforested areas. Three pillars, again, looking at these protected areas and reforestation. It's very important because in the area where we are in Nicaragua, the main driver for deforestation is cattle ranching. And being able to offer landowners and the communities an alternative value chain, sustainable value chain, is very important to reduce the pressure on current forests there. So the sustainable value chain provides locals with a viable economic alternative through the sale of carbon, timber, in addition to value-added products. Well, we do share benefit agreements with local landowners. The situation is that there's a lot of land depleted, not good for grazing anymore, and there are landowners there, they don't really know what to do with it. So they offer the land into our program, and they get a share of the future revenues from carbon and timber. So that is extremely important to offer an alternative to cattle ranching. The social impact side is also a part of our program. Social impact initiatives to benefit the local community. I will come back to that because it's a very important driver for the value of carbon. So today we have 500 hectares of natural forest and teak plantation, timber and value-added wood, and we have gold standard carbon credits. That is the line of business, if you may say. That is what we call our business today. The history. Well, we started in 2010. Actually, we started before that. If you see those three maps up there, that's how we started back in 2008. We were looking at the map on the left-hand side there, showing the yellow patches showing the deforested areas according to the Clean Development Mechanism methodology. because that's what we had at that time. And then we got a map showing where it was interesting to plant trees, the green patches. We combined them, digitalized it, and we got the red patches in the third map there. And we took the car and the GPS and went out in the field. And we called the red patches the Kyoto-land, based on the Kyoto Protocol, the Kyoto Agreement back in '98. And that was maybe the most important part of the project development we did, to really study where to start. So we started in 2010, where we started a carbon removal project with strong co-benefits. We were able to do the FSC certification in 2014 and gold standard certification in 2015, at a time where carbon credits were at its lowest when it comes to price. People were asking us, are you crazy doing a carbon project now? But we did. We were crazy, so we did it. So going forward, first gold standard verification in 2019. We did yearly FSC audits, and we got more than 98,000 tons of CO2 validated at that point. Verified, actually. Well, today we are in our second gold standard verification. We are expecting a minimum of 32,000 credits at the value of totally approximately 1.5 million. Well, people think that's a high value. I will come back to that. And we are looking for scale up for more carbon removals. Nicaragua, this is the cluster of land. This is what we first called the CPA, CDM Program of Activity. It's 7 municipalities in the Chontales region. And it is, here we have 4 plantations. Amelia, which was the first one, 80 hectares to be replanted now. Santa Maria, Rosario de Fatima, and Santa Elena 1 and 2, which is the biggest. And if you look at them, they are spread out in a big area. And we do that because we have teak trees planted, about 345 hectares of teak tree planted in the pilot. And they represent the monoculture. And we wanted to spread it out, and we did a lot of other things in the plantation to reduce the negative impact of the monocultures. While we have also the natural forest that we protect, that is good. That's more than 30% of the area. Well, what is the opportunity? Well, we want to do more carbon removals in the Nicaforest cluster. We have the 7 municipalities. There are more than 540,000 hectares of deforested land only in that cluster of 7 municipalities in a small part of Nicaragua. And it has been, that is based on CDM. If you use the gold standard methodologies, there are even more. So there is a lot of land to be reforested. And we can remove, well, we say 2,000 to 3,000 hectares within a 3 to 5 to 6 years period should be possible to do. We also have the Mico River watershed, which Mico River is an important water resource for the region, and it cuts through the cluster. We have allocated more than 25,000 hectares there, land adjacent to the riparian areas. We would like to plant the riparian areas too, but there is a risk of flooding, so we are not 100% sure how to do that. And then the replanting of the first plantation, we lost some trees there due to hurricane. Hurricane Julia in October cut through Nicaragua, and we decided to replant. This picture is from the first team that the workers that planted Amelia back in 2011 they were all women. All women were planting. And that was kind of funny because there was such a good atmosphere during that planting with all those women doing a tremendously good job there, taking charge of most of it. The main strategic alternatives we have in the future is the timber forest, where we can do more timber, and that is important for offering an alternative value chain that will mitigate the risk of more deforestation due to cattle ranching. It's a very important co-benefit, and we can do more of it. But we can also do carbon forest, where we do carbon removals in a high permanence cycle. Gold standard for the global goals, of course, planting a mix of native species with highest possible removal capacities. Investors want to see as much as carbon as possible, as quickly as possible. And that is a challenge, and something we need to be very careful about. Well, contributing to developing a sustainable carbon value chain, well, carbon is also offering many things that timber doesn't. But we see that we may seek combined strategies depending on the partners that we can get on board. Challenges. How much time do I have? Okay. Carbon forest. Well, co-benefits here. We cannot offer Nicaragua to build a timber forestry value chain, sustainable timber forestry value chain, if we only focus on carbon. So what can we do instead? And I think we still have to learn, in Across Nature, we need to learn more about that. And I've been listening here today for that, and there are other co-benefits that could be offered. But people in Nicaragua also need to live. They need to have an income. And if they are still going to be so dependent on the cattle ranching as they are today, I'm afraid that deforestation will not stop. So what do we offer with regards to sustainability, a sustainable livelihood through a carbon forest? That is a question mark for us. Timber forest based on a mix of tropical native species. Well, we are doing teak today. And teak planted in a monoculture, well, it offers good timber value. And we can make fantastic products out of that wood in Nicaragua. The same thing as we do in Scandinavia. I come from Norway. And, you know, Scandinavia have a lot of harvesting from their forest. And we make fantastic products. And we replant to maintain the biomass. So that should be done in Nicaragua as well. But market information on tropical native species are scarce. And also the access to markets, especially prices, can be a little bit difficult to calculate. Climate change. Reforested areas must withstand severe weather. The hurricane, we learned something from that. The fragmented supply side on carbon. There are so many projects in the world now offering carbon. And it's a very fragmented supply side as we can see it. And there is a very structured, you may say, demand side, opening up for a lot of resellers in the middle here. And the negotiating power of the project developer is not high enough. And too many project developers are selling their carbon too cheap. They are not pricing the quality as it should be. And that is really a challenge. So we would like to see more structure on the supply side, more collaborations between project developers, because there is an added value, a much higher value there in the market. Access to capital, of course. That's why we are here, isn't it? Time is flying, is it? 3 minutes. Main elements to consider when investing in nature-based carbon removals. Well, the carbon sequestration, of course. The profile of that. What are we planting? How much carbon do they sequester? And the investors that we speak to, they are asking for as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So the first 10 years, they should grow very quickly and sequester as much carbon as possible. Well, it is good in a way, but is it the right way when we look at nature? Understand the risk? Well, the risk, I have filled in so many risk profiles and risk matrix. And the easiest way to kill a project is to present the risk and not discuss the risk, not go deep into it and how to mitigate it and really understand it. So, silviculture management built on proven concept. Well, we have been there for 12 years. We think we know how to do it. Strong co-benefits for local community is extremely important. I have to step up my pace here. We think it's good to have a stepwise approach for any investor on this, where we offer a project design study with stop-and-go options, giving the investor an opportunity to really assess and understand the project and the risk and what it is we are actually creating together, leading up to the investment decision. And this can take, we are doing one now, and it takes 1 year to go deep into it. And it's important maybe for project to get a quick fix, get the money, start planting, but it's a long term. And it's more than 20 years, or at least 15 years of investment for many projects. So a stepwise approach is important. The direct approach, of course, we can offer, but it always leads up to assessment and adaptation in the end. So if you are an investor and you really want to understand what you're going into, we have developed a methodology for a project design study that will cover all aspects of the project, including biodiversity, social impact, and so forth. Yeah, that is, I see my time is running out. So we are planning 2,500 hectares in the 5-year planting program, 40 years crediting period. We need $7 million the first 5 years, up to 15 to last over the 40 years. If we are to buy land, we need an additional 6 to 7 million. And the carbon average, 15 to 20 tons per hectare per year. Revenues from 2 projects is ex post credits and ex ante credits, pre-sale. I will stop there since my time is out. Thank you so much for listening. Supporting slides, well, there should be a thank you note there with my contact details, but if you go into acrossnature.com, then you will see all the information you need. Thank you so much.